Well, hello everyone! Isn't it so nice to see you all back? I really hope you enjoyed the cinematic shots, but welcome to the tour of my Tuscan monastery conversion. So as you've probably seen by now, this is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 3.52 million compound located in Tuscan, Italy. I never really thought about where I would base it exactly, I just know the general location of it, and that would be Tuscany, Italy. Perhaps you guys could help me decide the exact location of this build. Maybe you know a town that you really like or something, and we could just choose a location altogether. I would think that would be very fun. I genuinely just find the whole region very interesting, full of culture. The architecture there has a very specific style, which I was so happy to do because this is so out of my comfort zone. This house is a commission for a client of mine, Freya, who came to me with a vision that she wanted something very Italian-esque, more on the Tuscan side, and my vision was that we could make this a monastery conversion, which that means that this house previously was a monastery. Where we're standing right now, the foyer, that would have probably been the chapel, and here we're heading straight into the living room. I personally really like the interior of this house just because, again, it is so different and so out of my comfort zone. It was also quite challenging because Tuscan houses often have a very neutral color scheme on the interior, whereas Freya wanted something minimalist but colorful at the same time. So it was a very hard mix to work with, but as I've mentioned before, it forced me to get out of my comfort zone and do things I never used to do, which is, again, why I'm so thankful for Freya reaching out to me and giving me the opportunity to work with her. So Freya, if you're watching this, thank you from the bottom of my heart. But now we have just entered the kitchen, and I genuinely think that this is the centerpiece of the house. The main feature of this space is obviously the arched stone ceiling. I saw it on Pinterest and I was just like, I have to do it. And so this is basically how it was born. I really do like the kind of minimalist look, and I think the green tile just adds the colorful touch that is so necessary for the space to actually fit into the whole aesthetic of the house. But connected to the kitchen, we have the laundry room, which we just saw, and right now we're in the pantry. That also leads to the outdoors where we have a bench to, for example, enjoy a cute little Tuscan view. I believe it's safe to say that this is definitely one of my best builds yet. I have this thing where I constantly want to outdo myself, which is why I try harder and harder with every build I do, and I feel like this was a very good opportunity to do something different and actually try very hard with it. It did take me 3 months, which is a very long time, and I did spend most of my summer just working on this build. But now we have just entered the dining room. I really like this room just because it has so many exits, so many different views. You could look into the courtyard, the driveway, the vineyard, and I was also trying to go for a mix match style when it comes to the chairs. I think it really matches the kind of Danish pastel aesthetic we were trying to go for on the interior. But as we're heading to the upstairs, let me tell you about plot data. It was hell with this build again. I did not, in fact, cry over it, but it was really stressful because I had to go back and forth like 10 times just to delete something so I could do a room or two. And honestly, after a certain point, it really does get tiring and you just don't want to work on the build anymore. So I did have some motivation issues. However, I am still here and I am posting this build, which means that I did figure them out in the end. But getting back to the floor plan, the upstairs mainly consists of bedrooms and bathrooms. Freya knew she only wanted guest bedrooms, so all of these bedrooms that you're gonna see are all gender neutral, but I still wanted them to have personality, which is why I decided to continue the colorfulness that we have throughout the house, whether that is in decorations or tile or wallpaper. It really differs in every room. One more thing I should probably point out is that most of the rooms have vaulted ceiling, which was not an easy thing to do, but I'm really happy that I ended up going through with it. While doing the research for this house, I noticed that other Tuscan houses often have the vaulted ceiling, and while doing this build, I realized that most of them do have it is to make the rooms feel more airy, because the rooms, they're usually not the biggest, and vaulted ceiling often make the room feel a lot more spacious and just bigger in general. And I mean, let's be honest, who wants a little cramped room where you can barely fit or do anything? Not me. Jokes aside, that wraps up our first building, and since this is a monastery conversion, monasteries often have more than one buildings. They're usually compounds. just like this one. And our next building will be the master suite, but we're gonna make a quick stop at the pool. Now, the pool area is definitely one of my favorites in this house. There's just something so charming and cozy about it. I love how open yet closed off it feels. And I also wanted to make sure that the pool was big enough to do laps or just for regular swimming to make the Tuscan weather bearable, because sometimes it does get really hot. But heading into the master suite, I really love how you can see the pool from the bedroom and the closet. The closet in the master suite is definitely, again, one of my favorite parts as well. I love how big it is. I love that I managed to fit a whole vanity and a full-size mirror. I'm also quite satisfied with the rather interesting layout of the wardrobe. I think this design was a great solution to making a regular box feel a little bit more interesting. And right off the closet, we have a private lavender garden, which used to be a place where monks could grow crops. Knowing the fact that monasteries are always secluded, these kind of crop gardens were always crucial for the residents of these kind of monasteries back in the day. There used to be another herbal garden in the courtyard, but I decided to replace it with the outdoor dining area that we have at the moment. But currently, we're in the master bathroom that has a very special feature, which is an outdoor bathroom connected to it, where you can basically see the exterior of the chapel. I do have to say that this is my favorite view in this entire house. There's just something so special about taking a shower outside and taking a glance to your right and seeing that. What a dream. But coming back to the courtyard, there are 2 more buildings left. We're about to see another very unique feature of this compound. Again, since this was a monastery, monasteries often have bell towers, so I decided to turn the bell tower that this monastery had into a private office. But before we head up, I thought it was important to have at least a half bath in the tower so you wouldn't have to leave the building if you were upstairs. It's not the biggest office out there, but what it does offer are impeccable views. I'm really happy that this idea actually turned out to be a really good one, because sometimes with small spaces it can be a hit or miss. But like I said, I'm really happy that this time it was a hit. And another favorite feature of mine is the skylight right above the office that basically lets you look out to the bell. I feel like by having that skylight, it makes you appreciate the history of the entire compound more, just because you actually get to see all of the details up close and personal. But our second to last building actually houses the home gym. But in this specific space, I did not focus on color as much as I focused on trying to preserve the luxury feel that you have around the house. Actually, fun fact, the home gym is inspired by a gym that I go to myself. I just always feel so cozy and motivated there, which I thought that maybe it was important to pass those vibes onto that space as well. But now that you've seen the garage, that wraps up our tour. Thank you so much for listening to me tell you all about this house, but I really hope to see you in the speed build. But before we get into the speed build, you do know the drill. Here are the floor plans. I hope you will find this really helpful. I recommend to pause the video and take a screenshot if you do end up recreating this build. Good luck! Well, hello everyone. Fancy seeing you here. I know it has been a while. Well, actually, not that long since I've last done a voiceover, but it has been a while since I've last done a part 1 of any build. And I'm excited to be here, okay? I wanted to show this build to you guys for such a long time. I've been working on it since the beginning of June, actually the end of May. So again, it's been 3 months. I poured my heart and soul into this build, but honestly, I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. It turned out right, and sometimes when you do builds out of your comfort zone, they don't always go as planned because there's a lot of things that you don't know. I mean, each house style has its own like quirks and stuff, and obviously Italian, Tuscan houses. They're a whole lot, so I'm kind of glad that I did enough research to make this build work out without any major issues. Well, the only one I really did have was just plot data, but again, that is very common for me. I just kind of accepted the fact that we'll never be able to work with plot data. You know, no matter how much we get, even if it's more or less, I will still find a way to run out, and I gave up on asking. I really did. I mean, I think it was the most annoying at the very end where, like I've mentioned in the tour, I just had to go back and forth to deleting stuff and then coming back to it, and I guess it was like an obstacle that I had to face because not only did I actually have to finish the house, which sometimes you don't have the motivation to do that either, but I also had to make sure that I wasn't taking up too much plot data space, which again usually is very annoying. For those of you who like do max out your plots, I'm pretty sure you understand the pain. It is so annoying. It is definitely one of the most annoying things while building in Bloxburg. But I guess in real life, you know, as an interior designer or an architect, we all have limits that we need to work around. And I feel like, on the other hand, maybe this is good practice to just get used to the whole limit thing. As annoying as it is the reality, and we're just supposed to work around it. But today, I probably won't even make that much progress because, again, this is a very detailed exterior. And details take a long time for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure all of you do, but, you know, just in case. So I'll probably just start off with the front entrance and then some windows. But okay, getting back to something, or just like answering your concerns, I guess, you might be wondering, Lucas, where's part 9 of the suburban mansion? Did you forget about it? You're not going to post it anymore. And to answer your question, yes, I will post it. You see, now I'm going to try to be a bit honest. There are multiple reasons as to why I haven't been able to post it yet, but the main reason is that I actually ran out of screenshots to use for thumbnails, which is so stupid. And I have no idea how that happened because I had over 200 screenshots of that build on my computer. At least I took it the day I was recording all the cinematic shots and everything. And it just disappeared out of, I don't know where it went, but it's not on my computer anymore. And it is so annoying, but I don't know what to do. So I've been trying to set up a time with Ave where both of us could join into a game and I could take a few minutes to take the rest of the screenshots, or just a few to finish posting it. But also, I guess, it is really hard motivation-wise, especially when I'm over the build very much. And I mean, it has been 3 months since I posted it, so I don't know, it's also not my favorite house style. It's a very generic build for me, if I do say so myself, because I do suburban houses all the time. It's nothing different. And the only houses that really like get engraved into my mind are the very unique ones. So like, I'll never forget the ski chalet, you know. Now I'm pretty confident I'll never forget this build, but all the suburban houses, is just, I post them and I kind of forget about them the second they're like done, which is kind of funny, but I guess that's just the way it works for me. And yeah, but that doesn't mean that I won't post it, because whether I'm interested in the build or not, I still need to finish the series. So just bear with me. I will find the time to take those screenshots, edit them, and make sure I will get the rest of the footage out for you guys. But it is a very big house. There was a lot of footage to work with, so yeah, I guess that's another reason why it's taking so long. I'm pretty sure it's the longest series on my channel yet, and I mean, it's really not just a series, it's a speed build series. Yeah, but I don't know. You might be wondering what the future might look like for my channel, and honestly, I really started to enjoy making challenge videos more, so I feel like in the end, I'm definitely going to focus on challenge videos more. As much as I love doing speed builds, they just take so much time for me, to a point where it just doesn't make sense to do them anymore. I mean, spending 3 months on a 3-bedroom house, that is kind of insane, right? Especially when some people just get these builds out in a week or two, and it takes me so long. I spent my entire summer working on this, and I mean, of course, there were breaks and stuff, but for the most part, I just spent majority of my summer working on this house or this other one, which I'm hoping to show you guys soon. We're kind of facing some budget issues at the moment, which is why I haven't been able to finish it, but it is, I want to say, like 80% done. And I don't want to give too many clues as to what it is, but it does have something to do with a lake and tall pine trees and whatnot. So I'm kind of excited to show you, because again, the aesthetic of that build is so much different from what this one is. And again, there's also other builds besides these two that I start working on in early September. So I've been working on builds. That's all I've been doing. And I honestly, it's kind of funny, because I did spend most of my time working on builds, but I have nothing to show yet, because all of these builds are like at 80 or 90%, and I don't want to show any sneak peeks until they're fully done, because sometimes I lose motivation and then I just never end up posting, and it gets annoying. So I have learned to just only post something when it's 100% done. That might also be me being a perfectionist, but it is what it is, you know? You gotta live with what you have. So that's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, so that is all really about the future, what I have planned. Hopefully I'll be able to post all of the builds soon. Obviously it is now September and it is horrible because school has started for me. I am finally a senior, and honestly now that I think about it, it's so crazy because all of you guys, those of you who listen to my voiceovers, who I really appreciate every single one of you, you've seen me grow up, and I mean, it's not like I did vlogs or anything, but I guess, you know, just through the voiceovers, you could see how I changed. It's so weird because kind of like my whole teenage years are on YouTube, which is kind of weird. It makes me feel slightly uneasy, but, and yeah, I guess it's crazy that now I'm in this last year of this chapter, and I'm kind of excited to see what's next for me. Obviously, next on the list is uni. For those of you who don't know, I do want to pursue interior design as a professional career. So I do want to study interior design next. I'm really excited for it all. Currently looking for universities in Europe. Europe offers a lot of good education. I'm so lucky to actually live here. I don't know. I'm just, yeah. But honestly, I never thought that 4 years later I'd be here. I started this channel with zero expectations, with zero goals. I just wanted to share my builds on YouTube, and now it got to a point where I'm making speed builds and I know that I want to do this for the rest of my life. Well, not speed builds, but something with design. It's my passion. I really do love designing. I love creating spaces for people and seeing their reactions, how they like them, how they feel at home. There's just something special to all of that, and I would never give that up for anything. But yeah, just getting back to the topic of you guys. Actually, one of you posted a very cute thing on Twitter yesterday, where it was just a screenshot of this one person who watched almost all of my voiceovers, or like listened to them. So I thought I'd give them a shout out, and that is Angelic Star on Twitter. Honestly, shout out to you. You're such a real one. It makes me feel so good that you guys actually find this kind of like stuff interesting. You know, I did pour my heart into this channel, and the fact that some of you actually enjoy all of this content that I do put out, it just makes me so happy, and it makes me never want to stop doing this. But while we're all here, I thought I'd ask you what you guys think about the challenge videos, if you enjoyed them or not. I saw that there was a lot of you who actually did, who commented under the most recent video, where I was building a Suburban with just 100,000. It was honestly a pretty fun challenge, and honestly, I kind of had fun editing a video, which is very rare for me because, for those of you who don't know, again, I absolutely hate editing videos. I don't know why. I genuinely tried to like doing them, but it just never worked out for me, and the fact that I enjoyed editing that was just like very surprising to me. Of course, it had some annoying quirks, but even the building process, you know, building on Bloxburg, that can get pretty annoying sometimes as well. So I guess you can't really escape and make it all enjoyable for you, because each job, you know, whether it is your dream job or not, it's always going to have some annoying little things and quirks that you need to just deal with before you could actually do all the fun stuff. But yeah, and I was really happy to see that you guys enjoyed the video as well. And I don't know, for someone who's very talkative and who loves to talk a lot, I kind of prefer doing those kind of videos. Even I just kind of like the fact to say whatever's on my mind. That's kind of weird, but I don't know. I've always been the person who likes to speak their mind, and the fact that I don't really have to like think or anything, I just build and talk. It's so fun. It's always just so fun. So yeah, expect to see more kind of videos like that in the future. Obviously, I need to get all these speed builds out of the way before I do any of this, but I am thinking about slowly switching to challenge videos, but you know, maybe doing a speed build or two now and then. But for the most part, I would really like to do the challenges. But yeah, that I guess also kind of depends on your input, what you think about all of this. And so I guess I'll be waiting for all of the opinions in the comment section. I love reading the comments as well, and I always try my best to answer a few, just to interact with you guys. It's always so fun. So yeah. Okay, but now about something completely random, something not Bloxburg related that just has been bothering me lately. What is up with the weather? I don't know how it is in other places, but here in Lithuania in Europe, I mean, I'd kind of like to say more Eastern Europe, it has been abnormally hot. For some reason, Septembers were never this hot before, and it still feels like summer. And honestly, I was prepared to wear layers and stuff, and I still have to wear my summer clothes. Not that I'm kind of complaining, which I am kind of complaining because I am kind of bored of my summer clothes, which is, wow, such a big problem. But honestly, just, am I the only one who's been really annoyed by this? I was actually talking to Gwen, and Gwen said that in the US it's kind of the same thing right now, and it's just like, what is going on? What is going on with the planet? Is global warming? Well, yeah, obviously, it's a thing, obviously it's an issue, but it's just, it feels so weird to actually feel it. You know what I mean? And, I don't know. And, okay, another thing why I'm so bothered by this is because I did buy my dream trench coat the other day, and I wanted to wear it so bad. But obviously, it's too warm for a trench coat because it's like a very thick one. You know, it's warm. It's for the warm weather because the winters here can get pretty cold and nasty. So I was like, I need to get something to wear that is comfortable, that is good looking. So I decided to get the trench coat, but I can't wear it because it's cold. No, not cold, hot. Oh my god, I wish it was cold. No, actually, I'm gonna regret saying that the moment it gets cold. You see, I'm a person who really does not like the cold. I definitely would choose summer all the way. But sometimes, you know, you do want a change of scenery or something. You do want to see some snow, some rain, some leaves on the ground. But for the most part, I'd choose it to be sunny. Because also, when we're saying, my skin gets so bad when there's no sunshine. Like, when I'm lacking vitamin D, that is when my skin is at its worst. And there's nothing that can help me. Like, no cleansers, no nothing, no matter what I try, just my skin is horrible in the winter. So that is one more reason why I do not like the cold and the winter. Although my birthday's in winter, I'm an Aquarius. Don't know why I said that, not that it's really relevant, but for those of you who do want to know, well, now you know. I'm kind of just in a conflict with myself, really. I do love my trench coat very much, and I do love the hot weather, and I have to choose between the two, and I can't choose between the two. Which now I feel like I can choose between the two, but really I can't, because then once I do choose, I'll regret my choice. I'm just very complicated, but, you know, thought I'd share my thoughts, my thinking process, and that's all that has been in my head lately. It's kind of funny, because I've been focusing on this, when in reality I should be focusing on stuff that's a bit more important, you know, like school, which I'm not promoting to not actually pay attention to schoolwork, because that is very annoying. Yes, it is annoying, but it's also very important. So, yeah, guys, don't usually take all the advice from me. You see, pick and choose what works and what doesn't. So, you know, when it comes to school, really don't take any examples from me. But yeah, so as I was complaining, I actually got to almost finish the chapel. All we have to do is just the roof little detailing, which also took me a while. But I remember spending an entire day just doing this one little bit, just doing the chapel. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense as to why I spent the entire day on it, and obviously it wasn't like the entire full day. It was 5 or 6 hours max, actually less than that maybe. No, but I think it was close to that. But I'm happy with it. I'm happy with how this turned out. I'm happy with all the ideas that I got. I was really proud of this door and how I made it look super tall when in reality it's just a hidden door. But you know, that's why I kind of like building in Bloxburg, because it just kind of makes you find ways to work around stuff. And now that I think about it, in a lot of European houses, these kind of doors are very popular, where they look super tall, but in reality they're just a lot smaller, actually. Like, it's just a facade, kind of, because I've seen a few doors like that in real life myself, while I'm at the Old Town or something. So it's still kind of accurate, don't you worry. But yeah, where was I? Did I already mention I miss summer? Or I've definitely mentioned that. I guess a thing we could talk about is, what do I think about the most recent updates? Which, obviously, I don't really have any bad opinions. The updates were great. I can tell the devs have been putting in so much work into making these updates as, you know, as good as possible. And I'm genuinely curious to see what thing we're gonna get a revamp of. I guess maybe one thing that I would like is to maybe get a build mode themed update where it's not a revamp, because I feel like the most recent build mode updates that we've been getting, they're all just items that came with the revamp and are used in, you know, like for example, the burger place, and you know, it's not just build mode stuff, and I really do miss that. I really miss how we used to get so many build mode features, and I would like to get something new. But honestly, it has been like a few months now even, and I still haven't used the pool feature where you can add them on like second or third floors. And honestly, I need to use it, but it's just, I genuinely don't have the time to use it because there's just so many builds that I need to work on, and I don't get to use it on any builds really. I guess it would be very cool for like a penthouse of some sort, but again, maybe in a distant future. So I don't really know if it's just me. I mean, I am kind of excited to see, like I've mentioned before, I think, I kind of forgot. You see, when I speak, I always forget what I say. I'm like Kelly from The Office. I speak so much, and then I zone out, and then I don't remember what I said. And I'm too lazy to go back and see, to check if I actually said it or not, but yeah, like I said, I'm kind of, well, I don't know if I said that again. Why am I repeating myself? What is going on? For those of you wondering, no, it is not late for once. I'm actually recording this in the afternoon, which is very rare, so I'm kind of proud of myself that I actually managed to hop on and record this at exactly this time and not at 3 a.m. like I usually do, because the voiceovers, let me tell you, they never turn out to be good. Never, ever. So I don't know why I'm not really making any sense here, but as I was saying, I am excited to see what revamp we're gonna get next. I would love to see the town hall revamped. I don't know, I would also kind of like to see a new building, just in general, like in a town. But I'm saying all of this as if I'd use it. It got to a point in the game where all I'm doing is just really building. Not that I mind, because I've always loved building so much. And I've always really been the builder. I don't remember the last time I roleplayed. I think it was like 2 years ago, probably, if not more. But it's one of my creative outlets. I realize that this is my main creative outlet, which is, I mean, yeah, I treat it as art, even though, I mean, it really just is a game. But to me, it's art, so, you know, you could take it or leave it. It's up to you. But getting back to what I was saying again, I really do think that the players would be a lot more interested in playing if we just had more places to go to in the town, or maybe had a bit more frequent updates, which I should not be the one saying this, knowing how frequently I post on YouTube, so I take it all back. Because it really, I do understand why the updates take so long, and that's just because there's so many things that we may not even notice that go into the development to make everything perfect and for the game to actually feel smooth and whatnot. But yeah, I guess the burger job itself was very fun. It's so embarrassing to admit this, but I don't think I've tried it out yet, which I probably should sometime soon, so maybe we could perhaps do that together with you guys. I could open my neighborhood and we could go try the burger stuff, because how come I actually never done that? But I did see a lot of like footage of people playing with it, and it seemed so fun. So I'm kind of happy that we're getting like a lot more interaction with different items now compared to, you know, a few years ago. So that is nice. That is very nice. I don't know, I always say this, but I'm really excited for the future of Bloxburg. I'm excited to see where the game will go, what other features we're gonna get, you know, what kind of places are gonna be added. Consider we have a developer team, which all of us have been asking for as long as I can remember. I think it's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. So yeah. But I guess one last thing that I will talk about before I go off, because this has been very unusual to me, okay? I actually started going to horror movies. For some reason, for as long as I can remember, I have always hated horror movies. I couldn't watch them. I remember the first time I watched like a horror movie, it was Lights Out. So I don't know if any of you have watched it, but it's basically like about this ghost that kills people in the dark. And after watching that movie, I genuinely could not go to the bathroom in the dark for 2 years. Every single time I would have to go from my room to the bathroom, I would either sprint or I would turn on all the lights in the hallway just so I could go to the bathroom. That is embarrassing to admit, but it was like this for 2 years, and that was pretty traumatizing. So I was like, okay, you know what? I am actually not going to watch any horror movies anymore. And then last year, I actually went to go and see Smile with my friends, and we had a very funny time. We laughed through the entire movie. I'm sorry if you hate these kind of people, but I'm that kind of person, like, at the movie theater while watching these kind of movies. But it's so funny. Oh my god, it was hilarious, because during every single jump scare, we would just, because we're all so scared, we all just grab each other's hands and then we laugh until, you know, the scene passes, and then it's fine. You know, and you still get the whole storyline, you understand what's going on, but you also don't get as scared. So lately I've been doing the same thing, and I went to see The Nun earlier this week. I think it was a Tuesday or something. The Nun 2. So I kind of watched the entire movie like that as well. It wasn't really, to me, it wasn't scary, more just funny scary. Because some movies are like actually scary, and then the other ones are funny scary. You know, like funny scary is when you can predict some scenes where you know what's going to happen, and then you just kind of close your eyes and you laugh because it's, I don't know, to me it's funny. Maybe I'm a psychopath, I don't know. I hope not, but I guess never say never. You know, they do say that for a reason. So The Nun, it was okay. I would kind of watch it again, but I would laugh through it again. Now, I watched Talk to Me on Friday night. Oh my goodness, now that was something. That was actually scary, to a point where I could not laugh through it. I did watch the whole movie with my hands in front of me so I wouldn't see all the scary stuff, because it was scary. So again, if I do kind of recommend seeing it, but if you're like really scared of it, prepare to kind of be a bit scared. One thing is, I usually like movies where there is no direct connection to you as a viewer from the storyline, because if there is a slight possibility that I could be connected to the storyline, I'm just like, no, I'm done. So like, I can't watch any of those like haunting stuff where you accidentally can, I don't know, get possessed or something. I don't like that. But when there's no direct connection to you as a viewer, then I'm fine. So Talk to Me, it's exactly like that. So if you have this fear that whatever you're watching is going to chase you after, then yeah, you're not going to feel that with Talk to Me. At least I didn't, because, you know, you had to. I don't want to spoil the movie, but you're going to understand what I say, because when there's like a direct contact that you have to make in order to, you know, actually, I don't know what the word is, inherit the spirit or whatever, or actually like get obsessed with it, then I'm not scared, because obviously you need to touch it, and there's no object that you can physically touch to actually, you know, get it. But I can see that the time is running out and we're coming to an end. But I had a very fun time just talking to all of you guys. I hope you enjoyed this voiceover, and I really, really hope to see you in the next one. But yeah, let me know what you think about this build. Let me know what you think about, you know, the challenge ideas, if you'd like to see more of those. I don't know, and if you have any suggestions or ideas, I'd love to hear them. And you know what? Maybe I will for sure make sure to give you guys a shout out for those of you who suggest me really good ideas. But yeah, I hope to see you in the next one, and good luck, everyone. Bye-bye.